Content warning. In this podcast, there will be topics of sexual content, gun violence, violence in general, drug use, and some cursing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's go. You want to start it off or should I start it off?
You can start it off. You have more experience with this.
I just know how to talk in front of people.
Yes,
Welcome
you do.
Everybody to our first podcast together. The podcast without a name, but where she talks about movies and I'm the funny one. So, yeah.
My puns are mostly consisting of that jokes, so...
Yes, some are good, some are not good. And we are going to talk about movies. The first movie we are going to talk about is...
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman.
So
we don't have any concept on or like structure on this, so
we actually do have a little bit.
The one I wrote.
Because I'm not the funny one, I'm the fact one. I like structure, so guess what I did?
You built structure.
Yeah, I built a structure. Yeah, sure did. First off, we have like a spoiler-free zone, following up with cast and story, followed up with special scenes, why this whole podcast even started, or the discussion about putting together a podcast.
Yeah.
A little bit of fun facts, which you will do now, and the genre of the movie compared to its other competitors.
You mean a Guy Ritchie movie versus a Guy Ritchie movie? Basically.
Yeah. Or like just other mafia movies, which this film is practically...
It is organized criminal
stuff.
We cannot compare it to The Godfather or something, because we cannot compare anything to that movie.
But we'll attempt. We'll
try.
We'll do an attempt. So, the spoiler-free zone from The Gentleman. I had put down like 5 points in which I wanted to talk about why we loved the movie or hated the movie. Then the standouts as for performance-wise.
There are so many though.
And maybe an overall set of the tone of the film and initial thoughts. So what I loved about the movie is it gave off that Snatched vibes from the movie Snatched, which in retrospect and after all the research, no wonder it's not a Guy Ritchie movie. So best man Guy Ritchie. It's really a good movie. I loved it. And I would not have picked it myself off a shelf. So I'm kind of glad you did. You told me like I got these two movies. I
got about Bullet Train and The Gentleman. I wanted to watch The Gentleman basically just because of Colin Farrell and Charlie Hunnam, because I love Charlie Hunnam as an actor, and Colin Farrell is just hilarious as an actor. And he's very good. I wanted to cuss, but I'm not gonna try not to cuss as much in a podcast. But yeah.
It's probably better we don't. And the standout for me in the movie was our fun encounter between, is it British behavior or is it gay? I loved that we played this game throughout the whole movie. Like, yeah, that was pretty gay. Or is it just British?
No. The thing is, you thought, oh, that's so gay, and I was like, no, that's British.
Yeah, I was having my own gay counter on the side, like that's gay.
Yes, and
that's gay. No, that's just British. That's just that's just Brits. And we will talk more about it in the spoiler zone and the casting, because of Hugh Grant as my star performer of this movie. I loved Hugh Grant in this movie. He was the standout for me, especially. So, about how this movie sets its tone right. It's about the intro, about the jukebox, about how they play the scene, the very first scene, how it's gonna play into the movie and overall the storyline. Because at first you think, oh, now I'm just gonna know how the movie's gonna end because of how it's presented in the intro.
How it started, basically.
But it was so greatly done, especially with the jukebox and with this sepia style kind of intro where some splatters of blood are visible, some dust coming out of nowhere, just setting the tone right as to what you will expect because of the first scene and the intro that follows up.
You mean that the first scene, the first picture, just painted the rest of the movie, how it's gonna play out, but it didn't reveal any plot twists.
It did not, and I loved it because you immediately knew, okay, it's gonna be a mafia movie. It's gonna be about probably anything that got anyone criminal in the first place. And I was not expecting drugs, to be honest.
What did you expect though?
If you think about Rush Hour, that was crime, but like with kidnapping. So it was about security and it got police involved. I thought maybe we'd have some police involved as well. So like the good guys against the bad guys.
How you mean that? Like the play of the good and the evil side, how it's presented.
Yes, and not evil side and evil side fighting against each other over their own imperium.
Understandable, but I think that's a pretty good thing that they didn't put the police in the movie.
Me too.
I've seen it so much. The police, we need to hide from the popo. And then we saw it. We already seen it so many times, but seeing the intricate dynamics between two factions of organized crimes working against each other or behind their backs to get the bigger imperium for oneself is what made it interesting.
Yes, on that note, it was like Lucky Number 11. It's not as good though, to be honest. I love Lucky Number 11 more.
I'm a bit biased about it, but understandable.
But still, it's in the same, it's gangs against gangs and not gangs against the law, which it is still, but you know, it's more complex than that. And that's why I love it. It set the tone right, but it still got you confused as to is law enforcement even in the movie or not.
There wasn't.
There wasn't.
The gangs were their own law enforcement.
Yes.
What I actually liked about the movie, about the tone, about when we talk about the criminal structure there, is the different generations.
Oh yeah.
The old heads, the made man, like we would say, and then just the young ones who don't like respect the legacy or the legend.
And we have one villain in the movie who is a little bit younger.
You mean the guy with the glasses and the beard?
No, actually the youngest one of all of them.
The Asian?
Yeah.
The one from the trials?
Yeah. I was thinking the same because of generations and how impatient some are portrayed as the younger ones who have not been in the business as much tend to make impulsive actions which they cannot see through at the moment, which is kind of fun to watch in the movie.
Yeah, too hungry being their downfall.
Yes, and that's why I said a loose cannon. Yes. That's what I was searching for. That's the word, the loose cannon of the movie. That was slightly annoying, but good, because you can understand more of how complex the whole thing is.
Yeah, but now we are going into a point where how realistic is it? Even though we know it's a Guy Ritchie movie.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie. It's cool. It needs action.
It's not supposed to be a documentary.
So let's talk about the cast. When we're already at it, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cast members, which I've talked about with you beforehand, and how I compared them to their previous performances in older movies. First off, Matthew McConaughey as Mickey Pearson. He's known for Interstellar.
Interstellar was one of his biggest movies, but he's more known as the Texan Southern romantic interest of most people.
I wanted to compare performances as to their biggest roles, and I think
the biggest roles, and it's
Interstellar is his biggest role for sure.
I didn't watch Interstellar. I just know the scene from the memes where he cries.
Yeah,
and it looks actually like he's crying. Like you could have show me just a video. Like, okay, why is this man crying? So what happened? And I would have said it's not a movie. That's a person actually.
Yeah, actually crying.
Actually in tears. He is a great actor, but mostly That's if we talk about Matthew. He's just known as the good-looking Southern guy of other movies. He's good looking. You cannot deny that.
He's beautiful.
As an actor, I think he has a wide range. Because if we talk about Interstellar, that scene I know, the emotions he can portray, like in this movie, in the movie he's mostly calculated until one of the last scenes with an enemy, where he was talking about somebody it's dear to his heart, where I thought, okay, this rage is also real.
Yeah. I liked the idea of him being all stoic.
Yes.
He performed as very calculated, cold man.
Just like normal business owner?
Just like normal business owner, even though he does like the most insane. And you wouldn't know. If you walk with Mickey Parson as a person on the street, you'd think he's just some banker.
Yeah.
And he did portray that very good, especially when you consider his biography that is explained in the movie, that he was like this high school dropout. He has a very good poker face, and he did portray that in the movie very greatly.
True.
As Mickey Parson.
Yeah, he commanded the respect in every scene.
Yes.
He was in.
I think he knew when he didn't shake hands with that one person in the movie, he knew what's gonna be like. Not because he knew as well when he was younger, when he did not have his respect, what it means to not shake hands. And to do that deliberately was such a cold move, and no face was made in that scene. Like, no, I don't give you my hand. We don't shake hands. I don't give a I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can cast too. Let's go. I can cast too.
I don't give a
I understand what do you mean. I just like to see a boss like that, who's actually that calculated. Because most portrayals of mafia bosses or something like that can be very easy to switch from the calm, collected guy to the rageful mafia boss. Yes,
because they try to make it seem as they are under a lot of pressure and therefore give in to the pressure, a lot of unstable. Yes. And I love that he's never unstable.
He knows what's up.
He knows
what's about to happen.
He only has one point as to which he loses. He loses it, and that's very understandable.
That's the point where everybody would lose it actually. So it's not like, oh, the mafia boss, he cracked. No. A human just cracked.
A human just cracked. That's it. That's basically it. That he loses it once in the movie.
Yes. Once and at the end, and then okay, back to work. Don't with me.
His henchman is Charlie Hunnam as Raymond Smith.
Raymond, I love it.
Raymond. Ray.
Ray. Ray.
He is known for King Arthur, as you said earlier, and has the same screenwriter in King Arthur.
Understandable. Kind of was like the same movie to me, just on different timelines. No,
it's like, we had Charlie Hunnam once. You want to do it again? I'll do it again.
Yeah, but he's also I think Charlie Hunnam is mostly known for is his role in the show Vikings as Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah, but I did not want to include series. I wanted to include films or movies.
It's basically all the same medium, so.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, sure, he's kind of known for Vikings.
But yeah, Charlie Hunnam has always had a charm, the playful charm with him. Even in the movie The Gentleman, yes. He means business, but he's having fun with it.
And honestly, he was the character in the movie I thought, oh, that's gay. It's not his counterpart that I thought is gay or is doing gay shit. It was Charlie Hunnam itself that was doing so much gay shit. I thought, that's not how you treat your enemy. It got that enemies to lovers style, and he made it so subtle that was crispy to watch. Very crispy. He did such a good job, so you would not expect it, because he's a very calm character.
Yes.
He's very much the henchman.
He's the executioner.
He's the executioner. Yeah, he's the executioner of the movie, because he is deadly, he's silent, he's mostly collected, except when something goes wrong, because he is very structured, and when it's not according to plan or something derails a little, even a tiny little bit, he kind of loses his marbles a little bit, especially with that Russian kid there.
True.
So
I think he just respects McConaughey's character, his boss,
yes.
so much that he doesn't want to mess up. Also,
respect. That's what you call it these days. Respect.
Are we gonna make this podcast series about which characters could be potentially gay?
Sir Hannem's character was gay, to be honest.
Charlie Hunnam, if you see this, probably, or hear it, probably you won't, DM me and tell me, what's your character in The Gentleman gay? So I can tell her it's just a British character.
It was the only character. I mean, how Fletcher played into his cards, he wanted to manipulate Raymond.
Yeah.
And one way to do that was to be a little bit of an eccentric gay person.
Probably. I mean,
he was just eccentric. He was not gay, but he played into the role, yes. So he could manipulate Raymond a little bit more.
That would have been a good plot twist, actually.
Wait, that's not how you saw it?
No. I saw it with Fletcher, you mean Hugh Grant's character, right? I saw it as a guy who goes with the flow. I'm like, okay. So
Michelle Dockery is as Rosalind Pearson in this movie, and she is known for Non-Stop, which I have not previously watched for this podcast. I'm sorry.
I didn't even know her before this movie. So
me neither.
You can't know every actor. There's too many out there.
She's the reason this movie even has a female. Because otherwise there would have been none. She has her haven, her secret woman haven, garage, and it's actually kind of plot relevant for the end of the movie that she has this business, that she is an outstanding woman, that she is kind of this mafia boss's wife, but kind of a mafia boss as well.
Because she's also mafia boss.
Exactly.
It's like not just a marriage, but also work relationship with them.
Yes.
Both work kind of together, kind of do their own thing.
So Mickey and Rosalind, their bond, you see, it's more than just love. It's also, we're in this together and we're gonna go down together. But it's also very nice love bond.
You mean there's more facets to their relationship than just being in love?
Yeah.
Being lovers and stuff. Yeah.
It's actually how she works that Mickey is so protective of her, and probably also respecting her a lot. She's a very fierce character in this movie. I loved her really.
I cannot say too much. I thought it's a great character, not just being like the doll of the mafia boss.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The own person and actually having the own part on an organized crime, and not being something cliche for a woman.
Like, you know, the arm candy of the mafia boss.
Yeah, but the arm candy of the mafia boss is in most movies not the wife.
Oh, okay.
In most movies, it's just actually a prostitute or somebody girlfriend-wise. And if a mafia boss has a wife, they're mostly at home and are like their personal
advisor.
Yeah, personal advisor. Most mafia bosses in movies who have actually a wife and the wife is in the movies is an advisor also.
So it's basically Rosalind is his advisor.
I wouldn't call her an advisor.
She was. Especially in how to form relationships, and when she told Mickey, they are fishy, just watch out. Even though Mickey was very much persuaded by Mr. Berger.
Yeah. Mostly you see an advisor who's a bit beneath the eye level of the boss. But she was on the same eye level because she had her own thing also, but also helped him in his thing and vice versa. So I would say they were on the same level for me. Not just, she's an advisor, she helps him because she's his wife, she loves him.
Yeah, she had a stronger character than just this advisor role.
Yes.
She had more going on.
More facets, which I liked.
Me too. I would love to see more of that.
I dare to cross paths with her. And in real life, with characters like that. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna leave, ma'am. Bye-bye.
So, let's carry on. Henry Golding was Dry Eye.
The young one.
Yes, our loose cannon.
I know his face. I don't know which movie he was in.
By the way, he was from the movie Crazy Rich.
But everybody wasn't Crazy Rich.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But he was like the love interest of Crazy Rich.
Understandable. He's a good.
Understandable.
Good-looking young man.
He's very good looking. Yes, he's a very beautiful man as well.
I'm gonna say young. I don't know if he's younger than me. Actually, could be.
What do you mean?
The actor.
He's older than you.
Really?
Yes.
How much?
Look it up.
37. He's still a young buck.
Almost 10 years. Come on, he's almost 10 years older than you.
He's not.
Never mind. His character as Dry Eye.
Just know all crazy happens almost
everything Mr. Golding did.
Because he's just too hungry and wants to skip everything in the structure.
But he did portray this impatient ass pretty good. It was very, very believable.
Every actor in this movie was great.
Actually, yeah, everyone was. And now one of my favorite characters, Colin Farrell as the coach.
I love him. I loved every scene with him.
Me too.
My favorite scene was in the shop.
Oh yeah, it was a kebab shop.
It was a kebab shop where these 15-year-olds drew a knife towards him. And he's like, took the knife and slapped him, bro. What is wrong with you? And I'm like, that's what I want to see from an old hat. And he is, in my opinion, the most honorable one in this movie.
He is. He totally is.
He is.
He has like altruive motives.
Altruistic.
Altruive, yeah. Altruive motives.
Ulterior.
Like heroism.
No, I wouldn't say heroism. He just knows that his boys did a mistake, and as their leader, so to speak, he just went up there. Hey,
I'm responsible. I'll take responsibility for my boys.
Yes, because they're still young.
Yes, but that's what I mean with altruism. Wait, it's like he has high moral and ethic ground, in which, fair enough. I mean, he has a box ring. he does some crazy shit himself, but he knows it's because the boys don't have like anything else, and he's still teaching them to be good people.
That was boxing most of the time.
But he also lets them steal stuff. So as much as I'm gathering from what these boys consist of, it's just like stray kids.
Feels a bit like stray kids that want to make a name for themselves.
Yes.
Actually. So like a mentor.
Like a mentor, yes. That's why he's the best character in the movie. He sticks to his words, he takes responsibility for his boys, and he looks after them.
And he doesn't really take from Charlie Hunnam's
And
character.
he doesn't take
He's like, hey, I made a mistake, but don't
take it too far.
Don't take it too far, yes.
I mean, I owe you I know that. But not that much. He's really great. He's a really great character.
Yes.
And Colin Farrell is known, by the way, for In Bruges. So he's probably a Belgic actor or a French actor.
I thought he was Irish.
Was he Irish?
Colin Farrell, Irish or Scottish? Colin, don't kill me. I don't know.
Well, because In Bruges would be a Belgian film.
He's Irish. I knew it. Let's take an old movie with Ben Affleck. He played Bullseye in the old Daredevil movie, which he actually had an engraved bullseye on his forehead, like with a knife, and Colin, you and your goatee with this bullseye looked ridiculous.
Next.
Call me Colin.
And in The Lobster, let's be real,
I need to watch
you need to watch this movie. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's bad.
In my opinion, it's
badly
bad.
acted, or it's just a bad written movie?
It's bad written. Colin Farrell actually does a great job at being his character. Mm-hmm. He tries to be as much aloof as possible, but in this world, I wouldn't be as well. And he's very weird and acting very creepy. He does a great job, not gonna lie, but the movie is so badly written. Carry on, next character.
Back to the movie.
To the movie at hand. Jeremy Strong was Matthew Berger, the Jewish mafia gangster boss.
The guy with glasses.
Yeah, the third party gang.
Ah, good.
Known for The Judge.
Well, I never saw, and
I honestly, he probably always played the side characters that are very important to the story,
but never main character.
But very forgettable in the end. Like, oh yeah, he's that one very important story goer, but I forgot him.
Some actors have that curse.
Yeah, he totally has. But I would love to watch where he is like actually the main character. And I think I need to watch The Judge because he was like from the main cast. And he did a very great job in The Gentleman of playing this haughty looking down character.
Yeah.
He was very sure of himself that nothing could ever go wrong with his plan.
But it did.
Yeah, and he made that very apparent that he thinks he's the GOAT. Spoiler, he was not.
He was no. He was definitely not.
And now to my favorite part of the movie, Hugh Grant as Fletcher. He's known for Notting Hill.
He's known for too many movies.
But Notting Hill is like basically his first breakthrough movie, in which he plays the love interest of Julia Roberts. And he played her love interest to be that suburban guy who just happens to be the love interest of a famous actress. Hugh Grant as Fletcher, totally eccentric in comparison.
Yes.
Totally eccentric. I never saw Hugh Grant acting like he did in The Gentleman. He had always these timid characters, like small city guy. Having a character portrayed by him that is this eccentric, I was so blown away. I loved it. I wish for him to have more roles like this.
Play this type of character.
Yes, I want him to portray more characters like him.
You heard that, Hugh? Get on with it, boy. Chop chop.
Oh no, I really loved his performance.
I really liked with him. It was like almost like Colin Farrell's character. Every scene was a great watch.
Yes.
You just couldn't read. What are you trying to achieve?
What is your ulterior motive? Because he was so careless throughout the whole movie.
It felt like he was just going to a friend he hasn't seen in a long time, and the friend was annoyed with him all the time.
Yeah. Like Ray, how is it going? How is it going, buddy?
And it's like, are they friends? Is Ray just annoyed with him?
Is that the friend you can't get rid of because you're like, you can't say no to him? Because that's basically the character. Whatever he comes to you with, you just accept that it is like it is.
It is true. That is true.
He's like, Ray, let me tell you, I got a great plan.
No, go away.
And Raymond's like, please, go away.
Leave me alone.
Don't smoke in here. I'll smoke wherever I want. All right, he smokes in here.
Alright, he opened my bottle of whiskey. Oh.
Yeah.
The thing is, he was so eccentric and careless.
Flamboyant as
it felt so careless. In the end, the character was so calculated.
Yes.
He had actually planned. He was just acting like he didn't have
That's
a plan.
what I loved about the character Hugh Grant was portraying, because he portrayed it naive and careless, and in the end was still a calculated person. And that's why I loved this movie so much. Even though you had these calm, collected characters, which every mafia movie has, this was the first one I actually saw in which you have a very flamboyant, careless character which you think, oh, he's gonna die in 5 minutes, has his own agenda, has his own plan, and it's working out in the end for him. Which is funny as
It's funny, but I like it because it felt so real. That there are actual people in this life who are like that.
Yeah.
And they just can get away with it because they have backup.
They have backup for everything, and they have certain type of charisma in which you can do everything you want, and people will just deal with it. Like, yeah, you do that. Yeah, sure. Why not? Every other one would be thrown out the second they walk in and try to pull the that Fletcher pulled in the movie. And even though in the end you get a little bit of a plot twist again, he was such a great character. I loved him so much. So I got like
2 pages.
2 pages because I had to try to point out all of the plot twists in this movie that's happening, and there are 6 of them or more. At first I was like, why is this guy Ritchie doing so much plot twists? And in the end it all works out.
It all makes sense.
But still, it was a tad on the extreme side. Like if it had 2 more, it would have been a chaos.
You think so?
Yeah. Because one plot twist would mean you are already spoilering the next one.
True.
If you're not careful enough. The amount was still okay to be included, but it did not feel like it was too much. By the way, spoiler, very much spoiler. Guy Ritchie is well known for his type of genre, like mafia and underground action movies. For example, like I mentioned earlier, Snatch, or his recent movie, The Covenant.
Love it. I could watch The Covenant 3 times over and not get bored with it. It's such a good movie.
I'ma watch it with you, alright? And then we can talk about it here. Back to The Gentleman, by the way.
Back to the movie at hand. My bad.
So the first plot twist is the opening scene with Mickey being not the one who's shot in this first movie scene. It's not him that is going to get killed, even though it's portrayed as such. It's going to be a different one. Because Ray does his job and takes care of the intruder who wanted to kill Mickey. The second plot twist would be Fletcher knowing all about Ray's fuck-ups, and Ray is not happy about it. In between everything that will be revealed throughout the whole movie, you will be included in Matthew's shenanigans. So Mr. Burger, one of the 3 gang leaders. The third twist would be Ray knowing just as much as Fletcher.
That was a good twist.
First off, you get Fletcher's point of view, then gets plot twist, and then you get Raymond's point of view. The fourth plot twist would be the Russian being involved throughout a real misstep from Ray and Fletcher warning him. So the fifth plot twist would be Coach being able to turn the odds for Ray and Mickey, and therefore paid his debt to them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
after this we good.
I paid my debt. And the last plot twist would be Fletcher presenting this whole story that's happening in The Gentleman to Miramax, the company producing The Gentleman, as a movie, but getting into a taxi. His taxi driver is Ray, making his job as the executioner on the movie.
That's a good plot twist.
And I actually researched it. You see the Miramax Tower, and it's actually real, yeah. Because the story needs to be published, because Fletcher is a publicist and very eccentric one at that. Like he wants all the spotlight.
Yeah.
And he'll go to this big production company and says, "Hey, that would make a great movie."
Yeah.
And being execution the next moment is very great. You don't see it though. Maybe he just takes him back to his dungeon. We don't know.
On the first episode. It's something for the third episode where you just go full fan fiction, and I'm just sitting there, yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of all the plot twists I have here. And then I put some questions here. So what is in it for Raymond? He's clearly the ultimate hellhound from Mickey. How did he come into the picture? I would love to have more background information about this character. There's not much known about Raymond's character.
But there's also not much known about like the coach.
Kind of.
Fletch.
He tells on screen.
He tells a bit on screen and stuff. I think
you know Rosalind's background, how she came into the picture, but you never know why Raymond came into the picture. So you don't. That's
leaving a mystery behind the character.
Yes.
You know, it's like with John Wick, the Baba Yaga, the pencil story.
Yes. The legendary story.
Yes, we get to see a new pencil story, but I don't want to see the first pencil story.
Yeah.
I just heard it. It's more like a lot of people in movies and stuff are like show, don't tell. But if you do it right, tell. Don't show.
Yeah.
With this, I have my own imagination. I'm like, okay.
But honestly, I would have loved such a legendary story from Charlie Hunnam's character if Raymond had such a legendary story, like, oh yeah, I came into the picture because that one time, and that one time being like a weird pepperoni accident or whatever. I don't care. A little snippet of his background.
We needed to hear it from somebody else, not Charlie Hunnam's character.
No, not his character. But maybe Fletcher did know. Yeah. Oh, I know about the incident.
Yes, yeah. His character was just another day at the job. This story, and Fletcher be like, "Hey, come on, that's a good story."
Fletcher explaining all the shenanigans of like Mickey and the burger, the other character, and including Raymond's backstory, like a little snippet. Like, I know why Mickey chose you. I know about the incident.
Yes.
That's all I wanted. That's all that would have been great.
You know what I think is interesting about this theory?
What?
That Fletcher didn't know.
Oh, no. He did made his homework. Or maybe he couldn't find out.
Like, that's why he was at his house, actually. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's capable of, how he takes the character of Charlie Hunnam. It was basically him trying to manipulate him, but also doing his research
about Raymond.
Who are you?
And why are you still here? Why does Mickey love you so much?
Why are you his second in command?
Yes.
That would have been... I don't think this TV... I like it. I personally like it more than... Oh, I know about the story, but who are you? I know everything about everybody. I know the backstory of the kebab shop's owner, but who are you?
Yeah, but that's it. I love a good mystery, but I would have gone feral over like, I know about the incident.
I understand bringing up another mystery.
Or maybe Matthew Berger could have told Raymond at one point, like from the other gang, like this dude, being like, I know why Mickey loves you. I know about the incident.
Mighty self.
Yes, that would have made more sense.
That would have made more sense.
And Fletcher being like, I don't know why you're here.
Yes, and then the Matthew Berger being like, telling you. That would have been great. But I think the mystery of just Ray being Ray.
That's still conclusive. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just a good worker. He's here to do his job. What was your favorite scene of the movie, though?
My favorite scene?
Yes, there's so many.
There are so many great scenes. Just tell me yours first.
I have a couple scenes I like.
I actually wrote down. I'm so stupid. Yeah, please do tell.
You wrote something down?
Yeah. Please do tell.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Matthew McConaughey's character and the burger guy. At the end, at the fabric, where he tells him,
"Oh yeah,
I'm not personal about the money. What I'm personal about is my wife." And like,
oh yes,
and it's like, I want a pound of flesh. And how are you gonna give this debt of a pound of flesh?
I don't care.
I just want a pound of flesh
and money.
The money was. And then it's like, okay, the pound of flesh scene was like.
Yeah.
Don't cross my guy. Because he's gonna cross you. That's an ending I really liked.
Yeah, I loved it
because it just is like, okay, he was so calculated.
Yeah.
And then you just see this glimpse of unbridled rage.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay.
I loved the scene where he doesn't shake the news head honcho's hand. Like the scene with Big Dave meeting Pearson for the first time, and the ultimate pissy face Eddie Merson exudes about not being given the hand and not being shaken. It makes me so happy. It was the pissy face of the year for me. I loved that scene. I know it may be petty, but it's like the little things that make the grand picture, because that's literally why Big Dave wanted him out of the picture.
Yes.
Because he was denied shaking hands.
Yes. Disrespect.
That was like the pettiest reason for someone's downfall, and I loved it so much. I loved that scene. The stuntmen in the movie were sublime. Falling off that bicycle hurt from only watching the scene. In the follow-up scene from Raymond and his up story with the Russian kid, where he had to follow this little teenagers.
Yeah.
He had to hunt them down and take their cameras and their mobile phones.
Yes, I like
and
this
one
scene
of the
also.
kids was escaping with a bicycle, and the stuntman who had to fall off the bicycle did such an amazing job. It hurt me watching the scene, and I hope he did not break any bones while doing so.
He's a stuntman.
And I was in pain watching the scene because jumping from a window is not something I can relate to.
Where? I do this every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Yeah. Yes.
Jumping out a
It's
window.
just another Tuesday
It
for
hurts.
me.
Every time you do it, it hurts less.
That's true. Good that you mentioned that scene where he followed the kid with the phone to get the camera. And the kid was going to his friends, to his gang.
Yeah, to his own gang,
Yes,
his teenager gang.
He was willingly to pay an immense amount of money for a phone. And then the young ones, not knowing who that is.
Yeah.
But imagine a young friend coming to you and the guy coming in a nice outfit. I'm willing to pay, and he's just taking this amount of money just casually. I'll pay. I just want the phone, and then being like, "Now we're gonna keep the phone, and we're gonna get you money." And I'm like,
they are stupid.
that's the thing. Not knowing about the legend, the older generation.
You don't have to know a legend to recognize the face from one, but knowing that someone pulls out so much money on the spot for your phone because someone just jumped out the window, it is potentially a dangerous person.
That's all just young and hungry kids.
Yes.
Of that lifestyle.
I got 2 more scenes if
Go
you're
on.
ready for it.
Oh God.
The rescuing scene with Mickey, Dry Eye and Rosalind.
Mm-hmm.
They accentuated how Mickey and Rosalind felt about each other. They are equals and no one is coming in their way. So if they would not felt that deeply for each other, it would not have done anything to Mickey.
True.
They love and respect each other massively. That scene would probably look very different if you put Burger and his wife in that scene.
Oh, it would have been a whole different scene. It would be like, get that scene out of my movie.
Yeah, but the comparison still stands. Burger would not have cared much about his
Burger
wife.
cares about himself and his status.
And that's why Mickey is such a great character, because even though he's like this biggest mafia shit gang boss, whatever, he still has very much respect for his wife, his partner in crime.
Genuine love between them.
So yeah, that's one scene. And the chemistry between Raymond and Fletcher. One took great pleasure in watching the scenes in Raymond's house. How Fletcher is the showman and presented as the emotional, while Raymond is the calm and collected of the two of them. Their interactions were hilarious to watch.
Yes.
Absolutely
Both
stunning.
the characters had worked so well together.
Yes.
They worked so well together.
Yes, absolutely. Hugh Grant and Charlie Hunnam working these scenes, especially with the touching and
seeing how many bloopers now.
How many bloopers were there to actually both of them taking a laugh. Like, you have to be very
Imagine they just
grounded.
Imagine they pulled it off every time, first take without a prop. That would have been.
They probably made out between the scenes like, yeah, come on now.
Charlie and Hugh, I am sorry about my friend's discretion because she is like that. Please forgive her.
Yeah.
You're just wasting my chances to get a picture of Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If this thing gets big.
No, it does not.
Well, you don't know. Don't be so pessimistic.
Well, we do this for us. It's actually kind of nice to have no pressure on anything.
You know what is to me the weirdest and basically funniest scene with the coach boys, where they just broke into the wheat plantation and then made a drill song. A drill song.
That scene was so great, where they were like, Coach, we made a music video. Watch. And Coach is like, the did you do?
That Colin didn't slap them. I was like, Colin, you're right. Please hit them. I'm like, no. How could you?
He was shocked. He was shell shocked. Like, oh no, they did not. But the video though was very great.
it was well made.
So I present to you my fun fact from this movie.
Oh.
The movie made $93.2 million profit.
In the box office.
Worldwide.
Oh, that's profit.
That's profit.
Damn. Hey,
the profit,
Guy Ritchie. I need some money.
That's a lot, right?
It's not Marvel Universe a lot, but that's a different
it's a
kind
lot.
of horse.
Yeah. So, and the obvious one we already called out is, no, we did not.
What you talking about, Will?
Paul Machlis, I am sorry if I butcher your name. Machlis? Paul Machlis and James Herbert were in charge of editing the movie.
Oh no, please don't be mean to them.
Mr. Machlis was already having edited the classic movie Baby Driver, by the way.
Nah?
And how the did he up that arch scene in The Gentleman if he made Baby Driver?
Please don't be so hard on him.
He had an intern doing movie work that day, didn't he? I mean, that zoom in, that was actually bad. There is an arch scene in this movie. That's the whole reason why we talked about this movie so much, because I was so angry about the movie.
You were. I was accepting. It wasn't that perfectly made, but it's a good movie. And you just
went off.
It was a whole crusade.
Went off.
Even the crusade would have been like, okay, isn't it a bit much? And I'm like, hey, I don't want to be hurt.
True. But honestly, if you have this perfect of a movie, you do not up such a little scene. You don't. And the zoom in was so... You could have centered it. There is actually a button on a camera which centers the whole picture.
Come on, it's just one.
I watched Grand Budapest Hotel. Maybe that's why it bothered me so much.
You are comparing Budapest Hotel, the most symmetrical movie out there, with other movies about symmetry. No, this is just nah. I apologize for her words. I wouldn't even have noticed it if she didn't pause the movie. Actually pause the movie.
Anyways. He did a great job in Baby Driver, did he not?
The Baby Driver was great.
Yeah, so next fun fact. Most crew members of the movie actually starred in some form in 2 years younger hit King Arthur. So obvious names like Charlie Hunnam and Guy Ritchie have their roles set in the previous movies, but also James Herbert, so the cameraman, has worked with Guy Ritchie's previous production. So it's like this team is... set.
They just have been previously worked together and knew about the qualities of each other. And it was like, hey, let's do this.
That's literally all I could conjure up. And on the IMDb, the movie has a 7.8 out of 10, which is a total of 1.1 more from King Arthur.
The Gentleman was a better movie than King Arthur.
But it is a given that more people have evaluated on that side. Well, if you consider how many people voted, yeah, but still 1.1 point up from the previous movie, which is kind of great.
That's good.
That's an achievement, Mr. Ritchie. Congratulations.
It's an achievement. I think the Gentleman deserved a bit more. 8.3, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're talking about movies. Of course, I'm going to rate them.
Out of 10? Yeah, an 8.3 maybe. 8.2, 8.3.
Yes, about that.
Yeah.
Above an 8 because not
at least 8.0.
I can understand if you hate that kind of movies, but movie in itself, 8.3.
Sets the right tone as to... Look, we have another mafia movie. Now that we're on the IMDb, let's talk about the Gentleman in his overall genre as a mafia movie. Is one of the better ones. One of the better mafia movies. And what I found is it does not appear on any of the top ranking lists of drug lord movies that I've researched.
Understandable. It's a great movie, but as a mafia movie or drug lord movie, it was too much slice of life. The plantation was talked about, but it wasn't the main point.
So I wrote down, I can only assume it is due to the dispute of the company co-owners that would show that it is a company problem and less of a drug lord movie, because it is a co-owner company problem.
Because it wasn't like an actual mafia movie.
A love action and a little bit of Christopher Nolan type of plot twists. That's what I like about them, but that's not what mafia movies and drug lord movies are about.
No, most of the time not.
That's probably why I'm so confused. There is no lists entailing either Snatched or Lucky Number 7 or The Gentleman. And now, which movie would you like to talk about next? Because this movie was basically me ranting about that arch scene.
For me, if I had to choose a movie,
Yeah.
it's the one movie when you were at your old apartment and I visited you, I watched every morning after when I...
Django?
Yes!
All right, let's do Django next.
Fun fact, before the next episode, every time I visited her overnight in the morning, I would always watch Django and she would wake up, sit next to me. Django again. Okay. I hope. Should I do the outro or do you?
Yes, no, you do.
Okay, that was it for our first podcast. I want to thank everybody who's joining in, who's listening in. I hope you had fun. I had fun. Charlie, I hope you all also had fun.
I had plenty fun.
I can see it. I hope you have a great night, or day, or morning, and be good people. Bye-bye.